Today I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT to practice and learn advanced vocabulary in English and also to prepare for your C1 Advanced speaking exam, especially if you're studying by yourself at home. I'll even give you the exact prompts which you can use at home every day. Hi, I'm Izzy from English with Izzy, and I've helped hundreds of students pass their B2 First and C1 Advanced Cambridge English exams with my online courses. So, welcome to the club. I don't want to waste your time, so let's dive right in. So let's start simple. I know not everyone has access to a teacher, and some of you are really nerdy and you want to practice your English every day. So I'm going to give you some easy tips and tricks so you can use technology to your advantage and actually start speaking and practicing for your Cambridge English speaking exam. The first thing I'm going to show you today is how to learn and practice advanced vocabulary without a teacher. So we're going to open up ChatGPT and type the following prompt. Act as a C1 Advanced ESL, English as a second language, student. Give me 5 advanced words or phrases to use in the C1 Advanced, Cambridge. My typing is awful today. The C1 Advanced Cambridge speaking paper related to the topic of free time. So let's do this topic by topic. All right, so ChatGPT is now giving us 5 examples of advanced vocabulary that you can use, that you can learn in preparation for the topic of free time. For example, the C1 verb to unwind, which means to relax, to indulge in, we've got a nice phrasal verb, change of pace, time well spent, recharge my batteries. So instead of sitting there in front of a textbook and thinking, how am I supposed to learn 5,000 new words for my exam? This is a great trick to learn a few but excellent key words for a variety of topics in preparation for your exam. And this is a strategy that I teach my students. For each topic, think of just 3 excellent keywords or phrases. So you might learn for your exam, time well spent, indulge in, and unwind. Just those 3 words. But if you use those 3 words or phrases in your speaking answer, it's going to sound really impressive. Let's practice with another topic. Do the same for words or phrases on the topic of, let's say, working from home. It's a hot topic nowadays, and it could come up in your exam as well. So we've got some common but advanced phrases. For example, remote work, blurred boundaries, autonomy, Zoom fatigue, oh, that's a new one for me, and work-life balance. The great thing about this is you might be thinking, oh, this is an interesting collocation, but I'm not really sure how to use it. Well, ask ChatGPT to teach you a bit more. You might say, give me 10 example sentences of the collocation blurred boundaries in all kinds of contexts. You can use this when you're talking about working from home, but you can also use this with friendships, with relationships. So let's learn how to use this collocation a bit better. Oh, I think sometimes I talk to ChatGPT in Spanish, so it's talking back to me in Spanish. Let's have a look. Since I started freelancing from home, there have been blurred boundaries between my job and personal time. When we talk about relationships, there were blurred boundaries in their friendship, which made it hard to tell if they had romantic feelings for each other. Let's say that you want to write these pieces of vocabulary in your vocabulary notebook. You might say, translate the 5 phrases on the topic of work from home into, let's say your native language is Spanish, let's put into Spanish, just so we can understand them a little bit better. All right, and there you have it, which might make it easier just to understand these phrases a little bit better. The thing is, it's pretty easy to jump into ChatGPT and to ask it to give us a list of words. But what differentiates a lazy student from a proactive student who wants to learn is that a proactive student will open their vocabulary notebook, which I'm hoping you have at home. If not, go out and buy one right now. And you'll write down these new words and phrases that you're trying to learn. Because if you just read it once, you're not going to remember it. If you write it down, write some example sentences, write the translation in your native language, practice this word at home, then there's a much higher chance you're going to learn how to use this word in your exam. Now we're going to have a go at practicing C1 speaking answers using ChatGPT. Talk to me only in English, please. I know a lot of you are not Spanish speakers, so let's teach ChatGPT how to communicate with me. So I'm going to practice another prompt. Act like the examiner in the C1 Advanced Speaking paper, more specifically, speaking part 1. Ask me 3, because I want to practice my answers. Ask me 3 part 1 interview questions, but wait for my answers before continuing. Now, sometimes ChatGPT makes mistakes, so I want to be very clear with my instructions. The answers, so my answers shouldn't be more than 20 seconds long. Give me feedback on how natural my answer is, on any mistakes I have made, so it can act like a teacher, and any suggestions to improve it. Now I'll paste this prompt into the description below so you guys can use it as well. So let's have a look at this example question. Do you prefer spending free time alone or with other people? So I'm at home by myself. I want to practice my answer to this question. I might say, oh, it's funny you ask me that. I want to use a nice natural phrase to start off my answer. As I've just spent 4 days in a row all by myself. True story. I think most people who know me understand that I cherish, which means I love, I value, I appreciate my alone time. I don't want to say free time. I want to use a more advanced collocation, my alone time. It allows me to really unwind. I'm using one of the advanced verbs that ChatGPT gave me. And recharge my batteries. Look, another phrase as well. I find the idea of forcing conversation and doing things I don't really want to do kind of boring. Oh, made lots of mistakes here. But I mean, it doesn't matter because this is going to be a speaking answer. So now I can wait for ChatGPT to give me some feedback. They liked my natural fluency. This is something I always teach my students when they're giving a speaking answer, is try and use a natural phrase to start your answers. They liked my vocabulary, cherish, unwind, recharge my batteries. They've even given me a suggestion on a more advanced phrase I can use. Instead of a bit boring, I could say rather tedious. They said my answer was a little bit long, so also some good feedback. And they've even given me an improved version. So what you could do at home is practice speaking by reading these answers out loud. Now let's look at question 2. What do you usually do at the weekend? The great thing about ChatGPT is if you're feeling brave, instead of typing your answer, you can actually use the microphone and say your answer into ChatGPT. It will put into text what you've said and it will analyze your speaking answer, not just your answer as a text. So why don't we try with the second question? What do you usually do at the weekend? Well, I'm going to do something that examiners love and give two different examples, two different contexts. So I might say, well, it really depends. If the weather is nice and mild. I was going to say sunny, but I want a slightly more unusual word. I might go out on a long stroll with my furry friend, which means my pet, but I want to use some more unusual vocabulary. But I'm going to put in a personal anecdote because examiners love that. It makes it sound more natural. As I live in the rainiest part of Spain, true story, I don't always have that luxury. So most of the time I hang out with my besties. I could say best friends, but I want to use a more colloquial, a more informal, or more natural word, and a more C1 word, at home and have a pina colada night whilst binge watching TV shows. There we go. I really tried hard to get as much C1 vocabulary in there. And again, ChatGPT is giving me some direct feedback on my answer. They like that I use natural language again. I gave two different answers and I explained why, which is the important thing. And they also gave me some suggestions and things that I can improve to make my answer sound a little bit better. Oh my gosh, why did I ask 3 questions? Now I have to answer 3 questions. What kind of music do you enjoy listening to? I might say, in all honesty, so we got a nice natural phrase to start my answer. I'm the kind of person who doesn't listen to just one genre. Again, true story, my music taste is all over the place. If I'm with my friends, I usually end up, nice phrasal verb, listening to some South American music, such as salsa or bachata. But when I'm by myself, again, I'm giving 2 sides of the story and I'm giving real personal information. I enjoy, what good vocabulary. I want to put some advanced vocabulary in here. I enjoy singing my heart out. We got a nice expression. To sad acoustic ballads. Let's change my mistake there. It helps me feel a little better. This is not a true story. I don't sing at the top of my lungs to really sad romantic music. And again, ChatGPT is giving me feedback on my answer. Now, a lot of you are much closer to the beginning of your exam preparation journey, and you might not have a good idea yet of how to structure your answers for the speaking exam. So why don't we take a step back and ask ChatGPT to give us some example answers? So we might say, this is going to be the 3rd and last prompt of the video. And again, don't worry, I'm going to put them all in the description below so you can copy and paste them yourselves. Act like a student in the C1 Advanced Speaking paper. Again, more specifically, speaking part 1. Who would get top marks? I want a model answer here, not just a generic answer. Give me model answers for common speaking part 1 questions. Because sometimes ChatGPT makes mistakes, I'm going to be more specific about my instructions and say the answers should be 15 to 20 seconds long. Use advanced but also informal vocabulary and sound natural. So let's see what ChatGPT gives me so I can practice my answers. What do you like to do in your free time? To be honest, I'm a bit of a homebody, so I usually spend my free time curled up with a good book or experimenting in the kitchen. It's my way of switching off and doing something just for me. This is a fantastic answer because, first of all, it has a nice natural phrase at the beginning, which makes your answer sound more organized and more confident. And you've got lots of great informal but advanced vocabulary. I'm a homebody, meaning I like being at home instead of going out all the time. To be curled up with a good book. So we have a nice phrasal verb and even a nice expression here. We've got a phrasal verb to switch off. So it's a great way to get inspiration. And if you're feeling shy, if you can't practice English speaking every day, speak to yourself. Just read these answers out loud. You could be on the sofa, you could be in your garden, you could be on the toilet and just practice reading these phrases, and you're going to get more confident at answering these questions without even realizing. In the description below, I've included all of the prompts that I used in this video, plus I'm going to give you access to 2 free PDFs, one being a huge list of 100 common speaking part 1 questions. So you could even copy and paste this list into ChatGPT and you have 100 questions to practice. And I'm also going to link my student favorite PDF, which has more than 15,000 downloads already, which will give you nice natural phrases to start your answers in speaking parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. You guys have made it this far, which means I have no doubt that you have the discipline to go ahead and take that C1 Advanced exam. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so we can go on this exam journey together and make it to the finish line. See you next time.